You guys, alignment will always cause disalignment. You have to stop thinking that when you work towards achieving your goals and when you truly start aligning your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, your actions with those goals, when other things start to change in your life, you have to stop thinking that everything's going wrong. You have to stop thinking that you need to revert back to where you were because that place felt safe. All of these changes you're feeling and disalignment with other things, that's the sign you are moving in the right direction, guys. So for example, I'm just gonna sit down. If you guys are tuned in to a radio station like BBC One, and now you tune into Capital FM, for example, you can't hear BBC Radio 1 anymore. It's just simply not compatible. Like, you and BBC Radio 1 don't really get along anymore. You know, they can't hear you, you can't hear them. And that's a really important thing to remember, because you guys are going to be going from average thoughts, actions, beliefs, habits, and you've got big goals, and you start aligning with them. You start making those tweaks. You start thinking bigger. You start operating bigger. You may be finishing work in your current job, and then you're going home and you're saying, guys, no, I'm not coming to the pub. I'm not going out on Saturday night. I'm actually working on a new business. I'm actually going to be in the gym. I'm going to be training. No, I don't want to drink. I'm actually prepping my meals for this week. As you start to align with that new goal, it's going to disalign you from all of the negative things that were before. But everyone seems to think that, you know, you need to hold on to all of the bad things. Like, no, success is subtraction. Part of the alignment process to your higher self, to the version of you that operates at the man you could be and creates the life you could have, is subtracting bad habits. And what comes with bad habits? Bad people. Okay, it doesn't mean you hate them, but you're definitely not going to be aligned with them, because most likely the conversations you had with certain people before were about just gossip in the local town. And now all you really want to talk about is something that serves you, like getting in better shape, like improving your knowledge, like building your business, like creating a better lifestyle. And those conversations don't really go down with the same people anymore. How you spend your time doesn't align with how they do. And what most people do then is they start to get this friction. They get friction from their family. They get friction from their friends. They get friction from their colleagues, who, all of these people, like, subconsciously, they're not even meaning anything bad 95% of the time. You'll get digs from them. And you will start to disalign from parents, from family. Like I said, none of disalignment means hate. It just means disaligned. You're not tuned into the same station. And you don't want to be tuned into the same station unless you want the exact same results they have. The only person who you should be able to align with as you are aligning with your goals is the people who already have this outcome. You guys, you don't want to be aligned with the average mediocre person with mediocre results. Doesn't mean you hate them. Like I said, I don't hate mediocre people. Some people think I'm just so savage. I'm like, no, I don't hate people. I just hate their fucking habits, and I can't align with their thoughts, their beliefs, their habits, and their actions. Now, some guy who's 20 kg overweight, who really gets committed and is like, Tom, I'm ready to go. And now he's acting in alignment with that 8% body fat, high performance, online business version of himself. And he's tuning into that today. Well, I align with him a lot more than a guy who's at like 10% body fat, who's in his job, who's just got really bad beliefs, really bad thoughts, operating out of fear, not faith. And technically, from everybody else's eye, looks further ahead. But he's not in alignment with his next goal. It's the alignment that allows people, because alignment is caused by frequency, guys. When you state your vibration, that's when you truly align. And the best way to do this, guys, is expose yourself to people who already have the results. But for example, when I quit my job, guys, I was an engineer back in Huddersfield. Well, I initially did golf at a very high level when I was younger, but I knew that weren't the path I wanted to go down in terms of it just weren't truly my inner passion. And I always knew I wanted to follow my purpose, and I also knew that I wanted freedom. And when you're an athlete, nothing against athletes, but for me and my goals and my purpose, my conscience, you're just a well-paid employee. I wanted complete freedom. I wanted my purpose, and for some people that is their purpose, but for me it weren't. I listened inwards, I listened to my heart, so I knew that weren't the route. But even then, when I was playing golf and I was disciplined and I was building my mindset, it caused a lot of disalignment. I came back, I was working a 9-to-5 for a little bit before I quit that job. When I quit that job, well, my parents, when I was working, they thought I was in a very safe place. It was COVID at the time. And they were like, by the way, for reference here, guys, I was just some skinny fat guy who looked capable of nothing. I'd been going to the gym a little bit. In all honesty, I'd been going to the gym a little bit. I'd started building myself to a better level than most guys my age. However, most guys my age also sucked. Okay, like, don't fall in that trap of comparing yourself to fucking average. Men these days aren't men. Don't compare yourself to the society around you and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing well because I'm better than them. Everyone's fucking losing, guys. Only compare to the top 1%. Don't listen to what all these losers saying. Don't compare yourself. No, do, because everybody's born equal. You can be operating at that level as well. And if you tap into your conscience, you're true to your biology, you want to be operating at your potential. It might not be the same career. It might not be all the same little details because we've all got our authenticity, but you could be at that level in your own version, okay? But when I quit that job, I had a huge disalignment. I've always had a very stable family, very good upbringing, very grateful for my family. But what happened there was a big disalignment in terms of, I was like, I'm quitting. They were like, you're absolutely crazy. Like online fitness, like it's just, Tom, it's just, you're going to be out of a job in the next couple of years. Like you can only do that when you're 22, 23. They didn't have the thoughts, the beliefs, the habits, the actions aligned with who I wanted to become. They didn't, like, I had the vision inside. I knew what was there. I had the clarity, but they didn't. And it causes disalignment. And then what most people do is they start getting into a low frequency conversation with someone that doesn't have the result, who's trying to doubt them or put fear in them. And then that low frequency then pulls you back into not thinking big and not dreaming big and not believing big and operating from, you're not operating from faith then because you're seeing it from their lens. Okay, but the reason you wanted to take that initial action was because temporarily you tapped into that higher frequency. And that's where you need to stay. The key now, guys, is understanding why this happens. And people, whether it's your parents, your friends, your colleagues, they disalign from you and they will doubt you and they will say bad things when you're doing good things because they don't understand your heart. They don't understand your conscience, but also they don't understand what it actually takes to get there. They don't have the mindset. You can't listen to anybody who doesn't have the result you want, who isn't living the result you want, okay? And that's what happened with me. There was a fallout because they just didn't understand how it was going to happen. And all you've got to remember, guys, is people, if you understand human nature on a deep level, people love the version of you that allows them to love themselves the most. That's human nature, okay? So if you have friends that you always go out drinking with, well, guys, if you stop drinking, there's a disalignment because now when you're in the gym and when you're meal prepping and when you're working on your business instead of going out drinking, there's an envy there about the amount of action that you're taking when they could do the same but they're not. And that contrast in how you're operating causes an imbalance in them that pulls out their insecurities. And it doesn't allow them to love themselves as much as they could if you would just operate at their level. I have a saying, never spend time or have conversations with people that requires a worse version of yourself or a lower frequency version of yourself. Okay? But people love that. So whether it's your parents, like for example, you got to think human nature. This isn't anything against anyone's parents, my parents, anything. It's just human nature. It's completely normal. People love the version of you that allows them to love themselves. So like, your parents want you to be safe. Your parents want you to be in a comfortable place so they can relax. Your parents also want to have conversations with their friends and be like, yeah, my son is doing really well. You know, he's got his degree, he's in a safe job, it looks like he's going to get a promotion in the next few years. It's very safe. There's no danger to that. Whereas then, me, for example, I'm in a very safe environment job that I'd be able to get promotions through and earn a very good living, as far as society would say, and live a very textbook life. That was pulled. Then now there's a big risk. Now there was conversations in that now they might have to tell someone that Tom's gone crazy, Tom might go homeless, Tom's just spent all his money invested in some mentor that they didn't understand, and then he thinks he's going to do this and he's saying all this, but like they don't want to look embarrassed to their friends, right? You've got to think about it. It's human nature. People don't want to be embarrassed. It's like if you had a girlfriend and then she starts wearing all this really provocative stuff, you're like, oh. People, you love her when she allows you to love yourself, when she respects you, right? And it's not that you're disrespecting your parents or your colleagues, but it's out of alignment with their thoughts, beliefs, actions, and habits. So when you understand that, it allows you to create a state of acceptance. And once you understand that acceptance, guys, you can just roll with it. And you're like, guys, I completely get it. Now, have one conversation with them and be like, guys, you're probably not going to get this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to be listening. No disrespect to you parents. No disrespect to anyone. I'm only going to be listening to someone who has a result because they're technically the only person that knows how to get there. Now, maybe I would go to my parents, for example, on relationship advice, you know, on long-term relationships and love and respect because they've mastered that, for example. On raising kids because they mastered that. But all these things I would go to them for. But like when it comes to my dreams, my physique, my life goals, my online business, my freedom, you know, having this and everything on demand and just being able to travel first class and go wherever when I want and have like a really purpose-built business, not just a business that makes money, like something I fucking love and I never feel like I'm actually working and just in alignment with the best version of me and serving other people. Well, they hadn't done that. So the only person I could listen to were other people who had done that. All right, and when I accepted that and had that conversation with them, there was still a bit of a disalignment, but it allowed an understanding for them to just be like, right, Tom, just run, okay? And then you've got to stop speaking, you've got to stop shouting, you've got to stop trying to tell people and get validation from people that you're doing the right thing. You've just got to have the mindset to just be like, I don't fucking care. Stop speaking once you've had a conversation of understanding. You don't even need to do this technically. But if it's parents or girlfriend, I probably would do. Friends, colleagues, fuck that. Just fucking do your thing and just fuck off, right? But you've then got to get to the point where you go, right, actions and results always speak louder than words. If I was telling you guys how to build a lifestyle and this isn't where I live, well, this isn't one of my houses. I've got here and I've got Dubai, looking at Miami as well. Like, why would you listen, right? So why would your parents listen to you when you're living at home? Or why would your parents listen to you when you're still in the UK and you're currently in a 9-to-5 or you're currently earning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a month and you're talking about all this cool, crazy stuff and how you want to fucking build an empire? Like, they won't, right? Like, people only listen once you've done it. You will only listen to me. Now I speak everything from wisdom and I've built myself up and I've built a 7-figure business and I've achieved this lifestyle and I'm still only 1% into where I want to go, guys. I've got the humility. Everything I teach and everything I preach is actually what I'm actioning today to still go to those higher levels. Okay, guys, like we're all in this together. We're just in different chapters and you just want to expose yourself to those chapters above them, pull through. It's like how you time collapse, okay? But that's my point, guys. So don't speak to people before you've done it, right? Everyone tries to sound like some really intelligent person these days, using all these big words. You just sound like a fucking idiot to everyone who has results. You may, kid some person with no results that you're a clever person. You're not clever, you're not intelligent. You're not clever and intelligent until you've done it. Intelligence is wanting something and actually having it now, like today. For example, when I wanted this villa, I was like, oh, I want to move to a different part of the town. I want to get this villa and I just message them and wire them money and I'm in the same day, right? Like, that's intelligence, right? Wanting big shoulders and having them is intelligent. If you don't have what you want, if you want an unreal chick and you don't have that, you don't have access to that, you're not intelligent. Like, all of these things. So speaking and trying to persuade your colleagues, your friends that they're wrong and you're right and your parents, it's all bullshit. Stop wasting your time. Stop lowering your frequency. Stay high frequency. Stay in your lane. Stay focused. Stop spending as much time with them, not because you hate them, just because it's out of alignment, okay? And operate like the guy in alignment. Just take orders from the guy that's already done it. And let your actions and results speak then, okay? So what I did was, when I quit my job in December, mid-December. Started working for myself in the pretty much straight away, okay? And by May, so like 5 months later, I didn't tell them. I was still living at home. I rock up on the drive. This was 5 years ago, maybe now. I rock up on the drive. How old was I? 19, I think. I rock up on the drive with a brand new 70 grand BMW, brand new out the showroom, all smoked out, blacked out, M-Pack. Oh, you're just crazy, right? For me at that age, and everyone around me who was my age was like, where the hell did you just get that? Because I just disappeared. I got a mentor. I had a mentor with my business. I had a physique coach. The only two things that actually matter. You've got a coach on your body and your mind, and you've got a coach on your business. Why do you think I do what I do, right? I literally have products I can't live without. I can't grow without, right? And that's all I did. I just listened to that, took orders, focused, removed all distraction, and then I rock up and they're like, whose car's that, Tom? I'm like, oh, it's mine. And they're like, oh, really? And it kind of like shook them, like, oh, like that's crazy, okay? And then yeah, still little bits of doubt, and and then it got to the point like people around me and like girlfriends, parents were like, Tom, when's this all gonna stop? Like, this is relentless. When are you gonna slow down? Like, you don't need more. This was me just living in the UK, had a nice place, nice cars, making 15, 20 grand a month, probably at 20 maybe. And I was like, it's not about the money, guys. You just look at the money, you look at the material, and you think it's all about the money. I'm about my purpose, I'm about my value, I'm about serving other people, and I just get paid off the back of that, guys, because I've become someone, I'm building something that's valuable, and when you're valuable, you get paid, right? It's who you become. And I was becoming someone, I was relentless with that, with my physique, with my knowledge, with my skill sets, and that's what you guys need to focus on. Okay, you need to focus on that. And then it got to the point like where now, for example, and I live this lifestyle and always got the craziest villas, travel, and then I'll be on a flight, and then in, chauffeur cars and all this stuff. And I don't care about money. I care about following my purpose, never feeling like I'm working, being free, being high frequency, knowing I'm serving other people, changing hundreds and thousands of lives for guys. But that's what creates this, by me going all in on me, by being selfish to be selfless, by not hearing the rest of the crowd, right? I always say like a dig or an insult or a doubt from a low frequency person, by low frequency, a person that doesn't have the result you want, that is also the same as a compliment from a high frequency person who has the result you want. So the thing is, guys, most things that people will dig you for, I would also comment on your post and say, that's class, well done, bro, I really love to see you, I can feel your energy shift, I can see you pulling up into that higher frequency. And you've got to take that, guys. Me complimenting you is the same as everyone else doubting you. They are the same things. It means you're aligning. And as you align with the higher frequency, you're going to get compliments, okay, from the higher frequency people. As you disalign from the lower frequency people, they're going to try and pull you back so they can continue to love themselves. Okay, so always remember, guys, alignment is disalignment. Stay in your lane, focus, understand and accept. And then you just want to be exposing yourself to people that have already done it. Take orders, build the best version of you, physically, mentally, tap into the spiritual side. I'm huge on that as well. That real, true alignment from your heart. Financially, lifestyle, relationships. We've got to manage all of it. It's about you got one life, guys. We've got to create the best life. We've got to have that inner peace. We've got to have that inner freedom. You've got to have that external freedom. And that all comes when we create this internal alignment. It all starts within. You don't create it and then you become it and act like it. No, we can become this today. We can make a choice today. And unless you do that, nothing is going to change, guys. It's just this yo-yo of waking up every day, trying hard, working hard, but nothing's changing. We can change that, guys. Let's do it.